The divine trees in Boruto just became way more terrifying than anyone expected. We're not talking about mindless monsters anymore. These things are evolving, learning, and developing actual personalities and emotions. Jura, the most powerful divine tree, is literally studying human concepts like love and curiosity. Yeah, you heard that right. The villain born from the Ten Tails is trying to understand what it means to feel. But here's where it gets wild. The divine tree's ultimate goal is to devour Ōtsutsuki and harvest chakra fruits, which means anyone with Ōtsutsuki DNA or information is a walking target. That includes Boruto, Kawaki, Code, and potentially even Sarada, if her connection to the Ōtsutsuki clan through chakra manipulation counts. The latest Boruto 2 Blue Vortex chapters revealed that these trees aren't just getting stronger, they're getting smarter, more strategic, and completely unpredictable. Amato dropped the bombshell about thorn souls being crystallized forms of divine tree power that might contain Ōtsutsuki memories, which opens up insane possibilities for rescuing captured shinobi, but also risks creating even more powerful tree entities. Fans are going absolutely crazy debating how far these divine trees can evolve. Could they eventually surpass the original Ōtsutsuki in power? Could they develop enough humanity to become allies instead of enemies? Or are we watching the birth of villains that'll make Kaguya and Ishiki look weak by comparison? The power scaling is off the charts, the motivations are murky, and the emotional complexity is something we've never seen in Naruto or Boruto before. This isn't your typical defeat the big bad storyline anymore. This is a philosophical exploration of what happens when non-human beings start questioning their purpose and developing consciousness. The ninja world is facing an existential threat that evolves with every chapter, and nobody knows where this is heading. Let's start with how we got here because the Divine Tree's origin story is crucial for understanding what they've become. Code, after getting beaten down multiple times and losing his purpose without Ishiki, decided to use the Ten Tails fragments to create these divine trees as weapons. The original plan was simple. Plant the trees, let them drain the planet's chakra, and harvest the fruit like Ōtsutsuki have been doing across the universe for millennia. Standard planet-killing strategy from Naruto lore. But something unexpected happened. When these divine trees absorbed chakra from specific shinobi, particularly powerful ones with unique abilities, they didn't just grow stronger, they developed sentience. They gained individual personalities based on whose chakra they consumed. Jura is the perfect example. He absorbed chakra that gave him not just power, but intellectual curiosity and a desire to understand concepts beyond his original programming. He's fascinated by human emotions, especially love, which is absolutely wild for a being that's supposed to be a biological weapon. Other divine trees developed different traits. Some became aggressive and battle-hungry, others more calculating and strategic. They're not a unified force following one plan. They're individuals with their own goals, methods, and evolving philosophies. That makes them way more dangerous and unpredictable than a single big bad villain. Now, let's talk about the Thorn Soul revelation, because this changes everything about how the divine trees function. Amato explained that when someone gets absorbed by a divine tree, their essence becomes crystallized into what's called a Thorn Soul. This isn't just energy storage, it's like their entire being, memories, and possibly even Ōtsutsuki information gets compressed into this physical form. The implication is huge. If you destroy or extract a Thorn Soul, you might be able to rescue the absorbed person. But there's a massive risk. Using Thorn Souls could trigger uncontrollable transformations or even create new divine tree entities with combined abilities and memories. The divine tree's ultimate goal adds another layer of complexity. Amato confirmed they're specifically hunting Ōtsutsuki. Not just any chakra source, they want Ōtsutsuki DNA, knowledge, and power. This makes sense from their original programming. Ōtsutsuki use divine trees to harvest planets, so having trees that can consume Ōtsutsuki themselves creates this twisted irony where the tool becomes the predator. For the story, this means Boruto and Kawaki are prime targets. Both have Ōtsutsuki karma seals and DNA. Code has Ishiki's remains and knowledge. Anyone who's interacted significantly with Ōtsutsuki power becomes a potential meal for these evolving monsters. What fans are really buzzing about is how far this evolution can go. In recent chapters, we've seen divine trees develop new jutsu, create strategies that counter specific shinobi abilities, and even engage in philosophical discussions about their existence. Jura questioning the nature of love and human connection suggests these beings might develop beyond their base instincts. Some fans are drawing comparisons to Meruem from Hunter x Hunter. a non-human creature designed to be the ultimate predator who gradually develops empathy and humanity through exposure to human emotions and relationships. Could the divine trees follow a similar path? Could Jura or others eventually reject their purpose of devouring Ōtsutsuki and instead choose to understand or protect humanity? The counter-argument is equally compelling. Every time a divine tree evolves, it becomes more deadly. They're already pushing veteran shinobi to their limits. If they continue absorbing powerful chakra sources and learning from combat, they could reach levels of power that make the Ōtsutsuki look manageable. Imagine a divine tree that's absorbed multiple Ōtsutsuki-level opponents and gained all their techniques and knowledge. That's potentially an unbeatable enemy. Let's break down the key implications of the divine tree's evolution and what it means for Boruto's future. First major point, the introduction of sentience and emotions completely changes the villain dynamic. Traditional Naruto villains had clear motivations: power, revenge, ideology, protecting loved ones. Even the Ōtsutsuki had a straightforward goal of harvesting chakra fruits to achieve godhood. But the divine trees? They're discovering their motivations in real time. Jura's fascination with love isn't just a quirky character trait. It represents a fundamental shift in how these beings operate. If they can understand and potentially feel emotions, their decision-making becomes unpredictable. They might spare enemies they find interesting. They might develop attachments or rivalries beyond simple predator-prey relationships. This makes every encounter with them narratively tense because we genuinely don't know what they'll do next. Second point, the Thorn Soul mechanic creates impossible moral dilemmas for our heroes. Imagine Boruto finds out he can rescue Himawari or another absorbed ally by extracting their Thorn Soul. Sounds great, right? But doing so might trigger a transformation that turns that person into something dangerous, or it might empower the divine tree even further. It's a classic save one person versus risk everyone scenario. And knowing Boruto's character, his determination to protect everyone without sacrifice, this kind of choice will break him emotionally. The Thorn Soul concept also opens storytelling possibilities for bringing back characters fans thought were gone for good, but with massive consequences attached. Third point, the divine trees hunting Ōtsutsuki creates a three-way conflict that's way more interesting than simple hero versus villain. You've got the ninja world trying to survive and protect their people. You've got the Ōtsutsuki clan's remnants and code trying to fulfill their original planet harvesting mission. And you've got the divine trees pursuing Ōtsutsuki specifically, which means they're enemies with both other factions. This creates opportunities for temporary alliances, betrayals, and strategic complexity. Maybe Boruto and Kawaki have to work with code against divine trees. Maybe a divine tree offers to help defeat other Ōtsutsuki in exchange for something. The power dynamics are constantly shifting, and that keeps the story fresh. Fourth point, the power scaling and evolution potential raises questions about the series' endgame. If divine trees can keep evolving indefinitely by absorbing stronger opponents, where does it end? Are we heading toward a scenario where multiple divine trees merge into one ultimate being? Could they eventually evolve into a new form of life entirely? Something that transcends both Ōtsutsuki and humans. Some fans theorize the final battle won't be against Kawaki or Code, but against a fully evolved divine tree that represents nature itself, reclaiming power from those who've exploited it. That would be thematically powerful, tying back to Naruto's original messages about balance between humanity and natural forces. What makes the divine trees so fascinating from a storytelling perspective is how they challenge the series' core themes. Naruto was all about understanding your enemies, finding common ground, and breaking cycles of hatred through empathy. Boruto inherited that philosophy, but the divine trees test it to its limits. How do you find common ground with beings that were created as weapons and are now developing consciousness? Do they deserve a chance at peaceful existence if they're capable of learning and growing? Or is their fundamental nature, devouring Ōtsutsuki and harvesting chakra, something that can never be changed? These aren't easy questions, and the manga's exploring them in really interesting ways. The fan theories are absolutely wild right now. Some think Jura will become an anti-hero who helps humanity against worse threats. Others predict the divine trees will eventually consume each other, with only the strongest surviving as the final boss. There's even speculation that Boruto himself might have to merge with a divine tree to gain enough power to stop Kawaki or protect the ninja world, becoming something between human and tree in the process. What's your take? Can the divine trees evolve beyond their destructive purpose, Or are they doomed to be threats that must be eliminated? Will Jura's interest in human emotions lead to a redemption arc? Or is it just making him a more dangerous predator? And how will the Thorn Soul revelation change rescue missions and power dynamics going forward? The Divine Trees have become the most unpredictable element in Boruto, and that's exactly what makes them so exciting to watch. Retry.